questions for Coach.
Robert, do you have an update on Jermaine?
Yeah. So Jermaine's dealing with an ankle. It's going to be day to day. We're going to know more by the end of the week, just to evaluate him as we go through and just to see where he's at.
So is it a sprain, but it's not a high ankle? It's a low ankle?
I don't have. I'm not going to give specifics on that, but it is an ankle. We don't think it's a severe ankle, but again, we'll have a lot more information by the end of the week.
Robert, there were a few times in the spring and summer when the hype train started rolling on your draft class that you kind of tempered things and said, they're rookies. It could take a little while, but they've had quite an impact already in these first 5 games. Just how impressed have you been with this rookie class and how much of an impact they've had this early on in the season?
Yeah, what's impressive about them is that it's not too big. So usually with rookies, the first game they've got big eyes and it's, I remember, had a rookie in San Francisco makes a tackle on a big name player and it's like, man, I just tackled so-and-so. And it's like, well, no, he just got tackled by you, and you're just trying to teach them that they belong. But this group it hasn't been too big for them. They've rolled right in, and they still got a long way to go too. That's what's exciting about it. And I'm being honest with everybody. They're doing very well, but I really in my heart believe they haven't even scratched the surface of where they're going to go. As long as they continue that mindset, that selflessness that they all have, and that the grind to continue to find ways to get better, it's going to be a special group.
How did this version of your offensive line do yesterday, specifically with AVT at right tackle? And I'm going to guess that you'll probably roll with the same 5 based on the way the results were.
Yeah, it was a pretty good performance. Got to hold up. There's some things from a protection standpoint, just communication, or not communication, but just feel in terms of space that we can get better at, which we will. Really thought, starting in the second quarter, I really thought the run game came on in terms of just creating push and space and our backs hitting it. Thought Michael did a good job punching 2 of them in. I thought Brees did a good job creating some explosives. And I thought the offensive line just did a really good job in terms of just creating lanes for our guys. So from a run game standpoint, I think it's the best we've been. Then from a protection standpoint, it was good. And I think it can be even better.
Robert, I know you joked yesterday about AVD playing quarterback, but can you speak to what he's done and how difficult it is to play 3 different positions, 3 weeks in a row?
First and foremost, he's a selfless warrior. I mean, the guy is just whatever you ask of him, he's going to do. And you want to be mindful of the fact that he's got to be able to eat too, but there's also this confidence in him that we have that whatever we ask him to do, he's going to be unbelievable at it. What he's been able to do to do what he's done is not easy, as any old lineman can tell you. It's incredible what he has done. He's played 4 different positions already, 3 in the last 3 weeks, and he's been knocked lights out with all of it. But it's just a testament to who he is and the type of person that we've been bringing into this locker room with regards to the selflessness, the sacrifice for their teammates, the get the job done at the highest, at the best of your ability. Just everything that this checks off for an individual. I think he represents what this locker room is, and really happy for him. And hopefully we can get this thing settled so he can stay in one position, so he can show the world how great he is.
Robert, you guys knew how versatile he was when you were looking at him in college, but could you have imagined that he would have played 4 positions and played them well at this early, just 20 games into his career?
No, you don't ever anticipate ever having to move a young man like this. You want to get them settled, especially when you speak about our philosophy and what we believe in terms of you don't want to be someone who has 10,000 kicks that he practices 1 time each. You want somebody who has 1 kick that he practices 10,000 times. And so to move guys is not in our DNA. It's not what we want. It's kind of been out of emergency and with what's happened at that position. And to his credit, I mean, he's been lights out. and he's done it without even flinching, and he's got so much confidence in himself. And again, credit to John Benton, our O-line coach, and getting these guys ready. And but he's been awesome. And he had the versatility, but you never go into a young man's career trying to use all that versatility.
Robert, what's it been like seeing Carl play at the level that you guys were hoping? Obviously, when you signed him, obviously he involved last year and then was easing back into it. But it seems like he's firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, he's put together a couple of good ones. Still think he's got more to go too. He's coming back from an Achilles injury. I don't think people realize how hard that is. He went 2 years without football, and he's slowly stacking up good days, and he's getting faster. His GPS numbers are getting faster. So I'm really pumped for him. He's gaining confidence. His power is he's getting stronger and stronger every week. So just looking forward to him to have continued growth, and the production for him is just going to continue to follow.
Robert, what have you seen from your team in the fourth quarter this season?
I know I keep saying this. We have a young group that doesn't flinch, right? And you just look at this group when the fourth quarter comes. There's just so much confidence to be able to get the job done. There's so much confidence in their individual playing ability, and there's so much confidence as different units to be able to get the job done. And so the whatever's clicking. And I've got my own philosophy or my own thoughts on how it clicks for these young men when the fourth quarter. I've talked a ton about how the game progresses from first half to third quarter to fourth quarter, and when we get a chance in the fourth quarter, you just don't have any quit. We talk 60%, from the Navy SEALs, and just this belief that you can get anything done as long as you're willing to put your mind to it. And I think this locker room embodies that. We have a bunch of guys who love the game. They're focused on the moment. They go one play at a time, like all the cliches. It just feels like that's what you see and what they represent on the football field, especially when the fourth quarter hits.
We saw an increase in CJ Uzama's snap count. I'm wondering, and we saw him in some packages that maybe hadn't been used before, at some 11. What was the thought behind that?
Same thing that, it's we're trying to make sure that guys are, it goes back to the whole playtime thought, right? If someone's taking every single snap, can they give you everything they've got every snap? And is CJ has earned the right to obviously play. We signed him. He had a lot of production in Cincinnati. He came off he's been getting stronger, obviously, but really it's just, we have two really good tight ends trying to balance out the reps. One, so they can be a little bit fresher as they go, but two, CJ deserves it just as much as Tyler does. And they're both playing at such a high level. We just want to get them out there and get them the reps.
So you're putting the defensive line rotation at tight end now, is what you're saying.
Kinda.
Just kidding.
We'll take a few more for coach.
How much do you especially stress things like you really haven't achieved anything yet with all these things that are happening? First win in the AFC East in a while, first win at home, first winning streak under you. But how much do you say to these guys you really haven't achieved anything yet?
We haven't. That's the truth. What we've accomplished is winning 3 games out of 17. It's we've got a long way to go to establish ourselves as a team that can whatever. It's if you want to be a team that's great, winning is you put it in the back shelf and you just keep on moving. And we got a big one with Green Bay, and we're going to have a big one the next week and the big one after that, and the ability to compartmentalize or to push, enjoy the win until noon which was noon today, and then move on right to Green Bay in terms of taking care of your body and preparing yourself the way you need to. That's what championship teams do. And we've got a long way to go before we can ever prove that. And to do that, you've got to create consistency. So it's awesome that we've been able to get off to the start we have, but at the same time, it doesn't mean anything because it all starts over every week.
Robert, how much do you think the rookies are kind of feeding off of each other and what they're doing?
I think they feed off it, right? It's there's old saying that you are what you think about, right? And if you're continually thinking about and talking about how good you are, then you're probably going to be pretty good, right? But or at least have the confidence to be good. And I do think the entire team is feeding off one another. I think when you see guys like Corey Davis just celebrating their teammates for getting chunk yards or blocking their tails, you see Barrios running 60 yards downfield to block Fabrice on that wheel route, and you see O-linemen straining to get blocks or defensive players straining to make plays happen for one another. Or there was a play where Will Parks gets vertical on a crack toss and just gets run over, but he took two guys with him, and it allowed for a free run tackle, a free hitter from, I think it was DJ who got the tackle, and CJ Mosley rolling over the top because he sacrificed himself. I think there's a group of guys who are absolutely playing for one another, and I think they're all buying into one another, and I think they feed off of that. And I know the rookies are getting a lot of publicity. They're the fun ones to talk about, but I think it's happening all over the football field. And like I said, it doesn't mean anything because we got to go do it again, but really like where this team's at mentally and the way it's playing for each other.
Last one here.
You said last week you don't like going against your best friends. Well, you got another one this week with Matt. But this is like the friends part of the tour, the schedule here. But what's it going to be like? I mean, you've gone against him, but you were the coordinator then. So what's it going to be like as a head coach?
It's the same. I mean, he was in my wedding. I was in his wedding, and we were roommates together. He's the ultimate in terms of how close he and I are, and. But it's the same thing. I love him, but it's game week, and when the game kicks off on Sunday, it's all about the Jets. So.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's availability.